Welcome to a new episode of the Leftover Podcast. We got Lambo Ray.
Welcome to episode 39, y'all. Back but not forgotten. I know it's been a while, but we ready to go. Hop on the live, Ray.
Episode 39, but not forgotten. It's been a while, but we ready to go.
While I wait for Ray to wait. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know we've been gone for a little while, trying to with some technical difficulties. New episodes are being posted, and we're going to get back on our regular schedule. Bro, you ain't gonna wait for me to take a shot tonight? You all anxious?
I just need a drink. I'm ready.
It must have been a hard day, bro. You couldn't even wait. Drink responsibly. Have a good time. I'm drinking something a little bit new today. Trying to see how that works out for me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, not my usual, hood concoction.
Okay.
What you got for us today, Ray?
So I posted something earlier. This lady who was saying that women should not be broke if they have men contact.
I did, and I posted that too. Actually, after I saw you post it, because I saw the regular post. That's some utter complete bullshit. Like, I can at least say dudes that I can get you slide with dudes that you talking to, right? But not just any dude in your phone is you supposed to not be responsible for yourself as an adult.
So she pretty much admitted that it's okay that you don't get any money that all these dudes pay for you.
So much to say about that. That's really prostitute logic. Because realistically, the dudes is paying. They must be paying because they get something, right? So unless you sleep with every dude in your phone, you basically a prostitute.
See, that's the thing. Her giving up anything.
I mean, she didn't have to, but it's understood.
She said that she pretty much said that she don't need they don't need to be doing a good morning text. So it's not that, it's just talking. Even if you in the talking stage, you need to be paying a bill, she's saying.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't even work for her.
Yeah. But I would just get to the point where I thought that that more women was understanding, then they came out with this foolishness.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has, to be honest. I think it's just you haven't been bombarded with it. I know I personally haven't been sending nothing your way. But you haven't been bombarded with like you usually have. And I think there's been an increase in women being vocal about the problems over there. But I really don't think nothing has really changed.
Unfortunately not. So talking about that weighed me into my next point. At this point in life, or this time in life, do you really believe that there's a high efficient rate for successful relationships / marriages among African American people?
No, but we're overly casual now. It's the same problem as men, right? Really casual, overly sexualized. Don't understand don't have no shame, don't understand core values of certain things. Like there are reasons of the way the way things were done the way they were traditionally, and we've lost that. Something as small as marriage, like there's a reason for marriage. Marriage is a business, whether people realize it or not. But people are like, "Oh, it's giving the government involved in my business. It's just a piece of paper." It's not. Like I still to this day, I don't understand how you'll live with somebody for 5 years, which makes you common law married, but you won't actually marry somebody.
Interesting.
Either way, if she leaves, she's gonna take your money. Hell, drug dealers. I would think if I was a drug dealer, the first thing I would do was marry the woman I'm dealing with.
Why?
Because if that's your spouse, she can't testify against you. They can't force her to testify against you. I mean, that's just straight logic, right? Like if this is a chick I'm having involved deep in my stuff and know all my business, I that's the last person I want to testify against me. I'm gonna marry that bitch the next day. Excuse my language. Nisha. Hey Nisha. I was trying not to say that yet.
What do you mean? I mean, I get that marry them is a good thing to do. But for a drug different, they have nothing to lose.
That's not true. They have their freedom.
No. I'm talking about getting married because the woman can't go to work, go to the court and be like, "Hey, I don't work," and he bring in so and so per month for spousal support. No record.
I would wager most of the dudes that don't feel like there's a point in marriage have nothing to lose anyway. Because guys that have shit going on, they understand that marriage is a business. That's why they choose your wife carefully.
Huh? What they doing wrong? They choosing their wife.
They're looking for a good time, not a long time. Like I right now, I did the math just because I was curious one day. Like if I was to knock somebody up right now and they put me on child support, I know the math, it comes out to about $27,000 a year. My net is worth. Right. So if I'm gonna deal with anybody, I want to make sure that person is worth $27,000 a year, at least. But you'll have a dude that like he don't got no job or he working McDonald's or something like that. He can't really afford none of that. And he'll nut up in every girl in the city. So and that's the dude that feel like I don't believe in marriage because I don't want to be tied down. Tied down to what, nigga?
But you don't have nothing to tie down.
I'm saying I have something to tie down, but if you don't want to be tied down, you should be more selective, not be out in the streets and then not care what happens with the consequences.
Interesting.
I will hold my brothers accountable to that. You should be more selective about who you're dealing with. First and foremost, you got all these women feeling special, but you all over the place. But second of all, you need to be guard your own value. Now, I don't want to see a whole bunch of guys going to the court talking about I got 11 kids, I can't afford to pay child support. That's your fault.
Okay, well, I like your interesting take on things. You had a few things to say. I mean, most of it was valid. I like what you were saying.
So what you disagree about?
You said hold their value. Half of the guys don't have no hold. That's why they just laying it out. They have no value to hold.
And that's a whole other thing. And I've kind of maintained this mentality my whole life, and I've seen guys speak about it. It's like we as guys, we put too much value into chasing women over building our own value. And I kind of feel like the media, especially young guys, kind of programs them that way. But and it's asinine because we're at the end of the day, Most women are going to want the guy that has the money and the power. So if you were focused on acquiring that, you're going to get the women anyway. So why sacrifice yourself, hurt yourself trying to get the women before that?
So maybe that guy want the woman that they could build with.
But if you're not building nothing, why? I don't think that's the case.
What do you mean? Some people do build stuff though.
I mean, some people do, but I'm talking about the corner boy, the corner drug boy. You trying to find a woman to build a drug empire with?
Oh, when you got a corner boy, because they also got a woman who's down for them, who know that you want a woman like, I don't want to say her name, but you want the girl that when someone break in the house, both y'all go for y'all guns and shoot up the house, get everybody out.
I don't know how much I can stand by that street love shit.
Why?
It's a nice sentiment. It's absolute nice sentiment, but I want to get away from all the street mentality shit, right? I kind of hate that we tie ourselves to that type of stuff. Like generally, it's good. She's gonna defend you. Period. Not just shoot the gun with you. If I be 1,000%, she might just be protecting her money, not you. Not to mention, I'd rather not nobody be able to break into my house. And my paranoia is OD about that. I be wanting a drawbridge and a moat around my house, to be honest.
Okay, so in life, I don't think they made a house that impossible for someone to break in. If they really want to break in.
I can do it.
But also, just because your girl will pick up a gun and somebody break in don't mean that it got to be a street mentality.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But you'll have a lot of street folks kind of limit themselves to that. Oh, she gonna pick up the gun and shoot with me if something go down. You know what I mean? And you don't think beyond it. There's so many more things to make a relationship successful. Like, to be honest, love ain't enough. You can love somebody to death, and y'all just are not compatible people.
Like, but that's too okay. But in a relationship, yes, love, but when you want to be in love with someone, and love and in love is two different things.
They are, and that's absolutely true. But even that's not enough.
I think that's a part of it.
It's a part of it, but it's not enough. You can be in love with somebody that can't manage their money, and then give them access to your bank account, and then they mismanage your money too, and y'all both in the streets. You can't be with everybody just because you in love with them or you love them. It's layers to this shit.
Okay, that's true, but you could be in love with someone, but you also, if you've been in love with someone, you know what they good at, what they're not good at, and you, so both y'all could be in the streets.
That's true, but you also shouldn't be with somebody you have to hide things from.
You just not giving them access to all the money, hiding it.
It's if you're actively preventing them from getting in access to your money. Like I'm all for keeping shit separate. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. I understand it in a lot of situations. Like Loon, like I hear you. Nobody don't touch the money, right? And you got it. In privacy. I'm all for that. But if you have somebody like you ain't watch Snowfall, right? Dude on Snowfall, he started getting money. He was with his girl. mean, he involved her in a lot of this stuff. He sharing everything with his girl. At the end of the day, his girl became a cracker. She got hooked on the shit he was selling. She sold the recipe. She was stealing money. She was doing. She was self-destructive to him and her. And he loved her to death. He kept on trying. She kept on being self-destructive. And at the end of the day, he realized that love shit ain't enough. So like I understand you got to know who you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna have strengths and weaknesses and things like that, but that stops at a point where a person has a destructive personality on any level.
Okay, I mean that is true. That is true. But I mean, at some point, when do you truly gonna know someone?
That's partially true. It's hard to all the way to know someone. You know, we all have pieces that we keep away from everybody else, and I think that's necessary as people. You got to have something you keep to yourself. But that still has to work when you're in a relationship. That still have to work in the confines of a relationship. Like there's shit like even in a relationship, I'm going to want to do by myself. Even if there's times I'm gonna do it with my girl, it's like there's things I'm gonna want to do by myself sometimes, and I explain that to her. You know what I mean? And just so she's forewarned about it. But how to put it? Your private self can't be. It's okay to keep it private, but it can't be private from your significant other, if that makes sense. Like if they're like say like
that makes sense.
So like if you like you like smoke cigars, right? And it could be you with a girl, she cool smoking cigars too. But you like to do that in solitude. You like to go out on the back porch, sit by yourself and smoke cigars. Don't talk to me, don't come with me about no problems. That's what I want to do by myself. That's okay.
I don't know. Me personally, if I'm dating someone and she likes to smoke cigars, like I personally wouldn't mind for her to come out and smoke with me while I'm outside. We don't have to do much talking. We could just chill and smoke.
You see where you just messed up at? Because you're still talking about doing it on your terms, and that's the private part of you. It's okay if she come out as long as she shut the fuck up. That's basically what
no. I did say that, but no, because I would think what you said about having that time to you. I'm saying it's a time to myself. We could just not talk, and we still out there together. But I think private time, it goes to a fact of us having our own separate. Like I don't mind inviting her, but it just won't be like every time.
She can be included, but not 100% of the time. And at the end of the day, you don't want somebody who has nothing outside of you. That's one of my rules of dating. Is like I can't deal with nobody that has nobody outside of me, because when you're that person's world, that means you having a world outside of them becomes a problem.
Why?
Because you have something outside of them. So if you're dealing with a girl, she has no friends, no family. She don't have nothing outside of you, right? The minute you go hang with me and Johnny, we have like a guys' night or something like that. She can't be included. She left at home alone by herself, and that's going to start to be a problem. Even if it's every once in a while, the fact that you leaving her alone by herself with nothing to do is going to start to be a problem.
Why?
Because she's alone her home by herself, and she don't want to be. I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you factual information, right? It's never going to be okay. The less she has of her own stuff, the more of it's going to be a problem for you to go do your own thing.
Okay. I mean, I little disagree, but
somebody we know, I won't name names because names in on this show today. Somebody we know had this problem before. Actually, a couple people we know have mentioned it's like you spend your time with your girl, but and then it still becomes an issue when you go do something outside of her. That's worse if she don't have nothing outside. She don't have no friends. She don't have no hobbies, things like that.
Comment.
It does. It absolutely depends on the female. But the female that doesn't have a problem is an exception to the rule, not the rule.
Or you could just set your, I don't know. I have had that before. But at the same time, no, I lied. I have had it before. Yeah, I have never had that before. So I could fully understand that. Because I never had it before. That'd be something whole new for me.
I know. I got a lot of out shows waiting for you.
But one day she don't. Okay, my bad. I'm trying to read the comment.
No. I said, and I wish you would on that too, Lowell. It's like females change their mind.
They do.
And you won't even know when she changed her mind a lot of the times.
But that's expected. So to come with another topic that says, it's been a while since we had to talk, so I got on my mind.
Yeah.
So I think it was I don't know how long ago it was, but it might be my last talking about this man because he really.
You absolutely right, Loon. Sorry to interrupt you. Shout out to Bala Clothing. When you change your mind and smoke, absolutely.
So someone is having kids. When do he think he's gonna stop? And he said that's up to God. I am so confused. Kanye allegedly needs get some mental help.
Yeah.
I think that other guy needs some mental help too. Because in previous statement, this guy said that his ex or one baby mother said he don't have enough time to spend.
Yeah.
I
know for sure he did.
So she said it too. So if this the case, why will you keep doing it? And you gonna blame God? Why you keep having kids? What kind of foolishness is this?
I gotta feel like at this point he just don't have nothing better to do.
Like, and I don't know if he knows that. Like, you already not time with all your kids. Do you think this better or worse that you have more? Then you trying to put in a statement that you trying to say that it's up to God. What about it's up to you to go get that they snip? Or what about you try to help yourself out a little by getting protection.
I don't know what to say about that. He's kind of doing something I kind of hate, and that's when people kind of, oh, it's up to God that ain't got no control over it. And that's a fucking lie. All right. Good.
Right.
Like I got guns. I can't be like, it's up to God whether or not somebody gets shot if I shoot in somebody in a general direction. You know what I mean? And like I have some level of control over my life. And some of us are reckless. This motherfucker in this situation is reckless as fuck. If you don't know who we talking about, you're welcome to DM us and we'll tell you gladly. We being politically correct right now. And I kind of feel like it won't be till he lives to be like 80 years old and see how his kids turn out till he start to regret this shit. And I feel like he will. He gonna have like 30 kids running around terrorizing the world, falling apart psychologically.
Okay, Joe.
What up, Joe? And then he gonna release a statement when he's 70-something years old talking about, I regret having all these kids.
Crazy that he been doing it. So us look bad. I'm just saying he make us look bad. Being a black father out here. Well, I'm not personal black father, but being a guy out here just going out, just giving your seat out like this, then you know. And maybe he haven't read part where it says that absence in child life of a father, the child. About that.
Maybe we need to sit down and interview. We need to talk to Nick Cannon. I do want to pick his brain about some stuff. Like what do you be thinking?
Say that again.
That's why I was like, maybe we need to sit down and just talk to Nick Cannon, because like pick his brain. Like I understand his thought process, because like I don't understand it. Like,
I mean, he understands it because like he go back on his statements where like you get confused going on because he's just out here talking. Sometimes I really do think he'd like to hear his that with that mentality. I really do think that he may need to go to that guy who don't have that shoe brand on. They both share. You know what? They both could get a room and share it at hell. Yes, Sophia, we are finally back. It's been a while. So, you know, those just a couple of things to think about. But, man, with a whole list of things, what you got on your mind?
Again, you know, some stuff I wanted to say I like talking about. You know, I kind of wanted the ladies to be around for. But I've been holding something in for the last couple of weeks. Shout out Sophia. For real. Like, have you been seeing all the videos of these kids getting fights with these teachers? Like, it was one video with a student. He said the N-word, and the teacher, saying slammed him. Another teacher got her leg broke by a student. Another student, teacher took his Nintendo Switch, and he ran up on her and just kicked the shit out of her.
No. He beat her ass.
And I'm tripping. It's like he talking about, I don't want to go to jail. The fuck you think was gonna happen when you kick the shit out your teacher? But anyway, language. I'm becoming of the mindset that we should give teachers a little bit more leeway to discipline kids in the classroom. And now, when I say that, I mean physically. Like it should be okay for a teacher to yank up a student that needs to be yanked up.
I do to a point of you, but that gonna be is these students big. Some of these teachers can't yoke up with some of these students. They too big to down on them.
Taser. Give them a taser. I'm
bro, you kick your teacher.
Because realistically, I feel like that. I came from a time like when I started going to school, they just stopped the rule where the teacher and the principal could whoop you, right? And we was nowhere near as wild as these kids are today. Like I would never. At the end of the day, that's still the teacher. That's still an authority figure, right? Even if I don't like what was said, I'm not gonna get up and try to fight the teacher because I don't like it. These kids today different.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of it. Well, it's a whole mix. So one is social media. Electronics. I think another is because the kids is stuck in their house, they don't know how to express themselves or interact with other people.
That's not an excuse anymore.
Not be an excuse, but it's still all wrapped into it. And some of it, I think it also the parents.
Parents is a major part, but hear me out, right? Like I don't care how you get it done. Put some big security guard in the room that his job is solely there to choke out the students acting up. And hear me out, because one, that's only going to affect the students that need to be choked out. So that's a small percentage of students. Two, I rather my kids, especially my son, I'd rather my kids be choked out by somebody who gives a fuck about them in the classroom than somebody in the streets that don't give a fuck about
them. I mean, right? Like in that case, yes.
Because like literally, like the teacher, that's their job is to teach them and discipline them. And at the end of the day, if I don't want the teacher putting their hands on my kids, I need to teach my kids not to put their hands on nobody else. My kids need to learn to respect at home. And then now if my kids get out of line, you have permission to punch my son in the face. And after you punch him, I'm gonna punch him in the face too.
Damn. Okay, so and yes, it is a lot that like to be grown for business. But at some point,
yes.
At some point, you need a room or get out of your business. Because back when I was younger, I couldn't even answer, even if I wanted to say something. I couldn't even say my opinion when grown people are talking.
You're absolutely right. And I'm also faulting
they tell you
leave the room. Yeah. Go to your room. Go do whatever you want to do. And I'm gonna fault adults on that because I've been around a lot of people and language will get out of control and things will get out of control and the kids are sitting in the same room. So I fault adults, and I'll include myself in that because I'll forget his kids around sometimes, and I get to saying shit. So that's on us as adults to be mindful of that. It's like we need to tell the kids leave the room so the kids can stay in the kids' place. But still, I want my kids to know the teacher's the authority figure. What they say is the rule. I don't care if you didn't like it. You don't get to dispute it, because that shit translates to the streets. Right. And I say this as far, especially from my black kids. If a cop rolled up on you and said something you don't like, you don't get to fight the cop in the streets. It's the same thing, because you're never going to beat the cops in the streets. Because the minute you start acting up, is you're resisting arrest, you're being belligerent, and they throwing extra charges on you. You have to understand what an authority figure, where you see an authority figure, you have to go about it the right way. If you have a problem with your teacher, you come and tell me, and I'll deal with your teacher. But you as a child, it's not your role to fight the teacher.
Right. Okay, well, that is true. But at the same time, how many parents do you think ask their kids how they doing in school and everything okay?
I understand that. But you don't even have to do that to teach your child that what an authority figure is and how respect is. You respect an authority figure. I don't give a fuck if you liked it or not, because I'm an authority figure and you're going to respect me too.
That's what I would mean by social media. It's fact.
I want to talk about that too.
Have them doing things that is really going wow. But this is I also think that kids should be numbered or limited. I'm sorry, limited on how much time they spend on social media.
Agreed.
Because unless you seeing how they fix in a car, or how they fix it something, how you learned about history, you shouldn't be on there so much. But that's just me, what I think personally.
No, I don't think you need social media at all. I honestly, I don't think kids need to be involved in social media until they in college.
You know what I do? That's unlikely to happen.
It is for a number of reasons.
That's like far-fetched because they'll find a way. They'll use their laptop, their iPads, their phones. So they'll find a way.
I mean, realistically, kids don't really need cell phones. Be 1,000% on the kid. They don't really, bro. We grew up without cell phones. We didn't need that shit. Social media wasn't a thing until after 2005, and then that was around Facebook was brand new.
Right. And no. I agree with that to a certain point about the kids not having one. They could, but you also could have your kids have a lot of restriction on their phone.
I think you can, but I think you have to have a parent that knows enough or willing to learn enough about that to do that, and putting the extra work on the parents to that, and that's why a lot of it doesn't get done, because that's a lot of stuff for the parent to manage. So I got to take care of my kids. I got to go to work, and then on top of that, I got to monitor every little thing on their phone. It becomes something that's, I feel like that for a lot of parents, it becomes something that's not important.
Okay, that is you don't need a diploma, but this is the thing. I do understand a lot of times that you don't need school for a lot of things that you could do in life and be successful to a point. But at the end of the day, it's up to them to let them know how important school is and what they need to begin in there, and have the expectation. Hey, I need you to get because at some point, anything fall for your life, what do you help to fall back on.
And I'm gonna add on to that because I very much agree. We're in a day and age where you can look up anything. But I think school is not just about the knowledge. School is about discipline. It's like I can go and learn how to do something right now that's a very valuable skill, but nobody's going to hire me to do it unless I've proven to somebody that I can work a job and do it consistently for money. All right. So that's why, like, even if I have a college degree, they're going to want you to have internships to show that you can handle that in a working environment. So school you gain knowledge from school, and I admit there's a lot of stuff you learn in school that's probably not really relevant today, and you're probably never going to use, but it's about discipline.
And to be honest, doesn't even care if you went to college in that field. They just want you to go to college.
Exactly. And that's why, because it's about the discipline you picked up from being in college.
That is true.
In college, and then I'm personally, I'm very much about the on-campus experience because that's where you learn about yourself as a person. Like, I've seen people get really wild. Like, I knew a girl, her goal was to see how many guys she could sleep with in the semester. Like, people become who on college campuses, and then they learn their lessons. I do, because that's the first time you're really away from your parents. You're really at your own control and do whatever you want to do, and you suffer your own consequences. Like, if my mom is not gonna get me up and wake me up for 8 a.m. class, I have to get my ass up and go to class. My mom is not gonna sit and check my homework. I need to do my homework and make sure it's right in myself. If I'm not sure about it, I need to reach out to a classmate on my own and make sure get the notes or see how somebody look over what I did. Like, all of that's on you in college. You learn how to interact with people in college. So I'm very much about the on-campus experience that college can give you and the interaction you get in your classroom. But again, that's why businesses care that you went to college, because that's there's life skills and social skills you get by going to school.
Yeah, that is true. I like it. So, talking about that, so I was watching some of Child to Earn Your Leisure. So watching them, and they made a point that I wonder if people actually do think about this. Parents want to give their kids things that they didn't have, but do parents say that I want to teach them what I didn't know at my age?
Not as much as they should.
Let's be honest. How many parents you think that really sit down with their kids and be like, and teach them different things about things that they actually could do in life, like from money investing to profit sharing?
In our community, very little, if any. And that's for me personally. That's why I want to like to be the type of parent that, to expose my kids to that type of stuff. I also think, like, when you're a kid.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Can you say that one more time?
I said ideally that's the type of parent I would want to be the type of parent that exposes my kid to a lot of different things, so they can.
Okay, I thought I heard that.
I'm gonna deal with you later. So because in my experience is like, I didn't really know what I was really interested in until like late in life. Like if I was exposed to more things at a younger age, I would have different decisions and probably would have been on a different path. So I'm very much about, it's like, exposing your kids to different things, because you never know what your kids are going to pick up as interest. Like, and especially in our community, we need to, like I said, we need to do more than encourage them into sports and entertainment. Like, there's more out there than being a comedian and being an athlete and being a rapper. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm one of the to play any,
I mean
especially
that's
football.
I understand it, but
That's me personally.
and I understand the reason behind it, but I want you. I believe in kids being exposed to different activities so they can pick. Like you may have a kid that might be a chess genius, but you'll never know if you never sit down and play chess with them. You know what I mean? They might be good. They might be good at
It's
engineering.
fine. I get it, but okay, they could pick up baseball. If they gonna be the next Emmett Smith, I'm voting for them to play. I'm cool with them not playing. I'm just not gonna put them on that field. But they can play baseball though. Pick up basketball, yeah, I'm cool with that. Maybe even soccer.
You can get
not
hurt
football.
playing any sport. You can get hurt playing any sport.
And you are correct. But football, the only sport that the rule of the game is initially to go hit the person and take them out.
I mean, it's not the only sport.
That's why I say baseball and golf, because that's not their rules.
You got rugby, you got hockey.
I play rugby or hockey.
Did you see what Deion Sanders said about football players?
No, I didn't see it. What did you say?
He was saying about where the best players come from. So he was saying like a quarterback, he wants them to come from a 2-parent home. With about 3.5 GPA. He's saying O-line, something about like they want them to have a 2-parent home too with 3.3 GPA. And if you want defense, he wants you to be struggling like mama barely got on the plane. And he was trying to talk about what kind of environment makes the best type of players.
Well, a good thing is any 2 homes, no GPA, no none of that. No contact sport like that is for. But whoever parent that want their child to play and want them to do it, that's cool. That's cool. I don't mind it. I like to watch it. But me play.
I hope you get your way.
Huh?
I hope you get your way.
I
mean, your child can go to college and decide he wants to play football. You can't stop that.
Who gonna stop me? Fact. But if he still wants some financial support, he's gonna go behind me a little bit. But as a parent, I'm gonna have communication with my child, so they could understand why I haven't seen. It's a huge percent that what you raise joy or get into it. So baseball is my sport. So if they see how much I love baseball and how much I'm watching it, and they sit down with me, they're more than likely that better than football.
That's not 100% true, especially today.
That's why I said more than likely. They say 100%.
I don't even think it's more than likely these days, to be honest.
Yeah, no. It's more than likely. That's a fact.
With the way social media is and the way kids are today, like how much influence do you really think as parents you have on your kids these days?
I think, see, that's a problem I don't think you get. Being at the father, you have more by being at the father inside that person's life. And that's me talking about sitting down daily, asking them, just talking to them regularly and giving them knowledge. You have more impact than you think by being an active father. And that's a fact.
I don't
That don't
disagree
matter.
with that, but
And also,
if we're
you know, me, I'm not big on social ways. So my kid gonna be there on social media, period. So
I hope you get your way.
Yeah, I'm I'm the man of the house. I'm paying majority of the bill, of course. I mean, I'm not gonna force them to do it, but we're gonna have a little talk about it. And if I say that they can't, if they limited on social media as a younger as younger, I'm not talking about starting at like 16 and be like, yo, you only get an hour of social media today. No, I'm saying start younger. And
so go ahead. I had a question for you.
okay, and I think also something else that also affecting the kids and their choices is they're not staying busy. You put them inside things to keep them where they don't even have time for all of this. And not to say that I want them to be busy 24/7 because who wants that? I will keep them active, but that's just me. But you know, also will instill more of my work ethic at that how I do things that you know that hopefully they will take it. Not to say that because I want all this gonna occur, but I'm gonna try as best as possible to instill in this or put this inside their life. Okay, what's your question?
And like I hear what you said. I agree with what you said 1,000%. But I can't help but be a realist about the way the world works today, right?
Oh,
so like
go ahead.
on a 24-hour period, Monday to on a weekday, right? How much time do you expect to spend with your say your son?
Okay, okay, say that first part again.
So say like on a regular Monday, how
Okay.
many hours of that day do you expect to spend with your son?
How old?
12.
Okay, so at 12. Okay, so at 12, right? So that's why I'm setting myself up right now so that I could have more leeway. That's why before I did a lot of jobs that took a lot of my time. So now that kind of factor on how I do it. So I'm thinking at middle school, right? They're not elementary still, right? They're middle school, right?
That's still, I think it's still elementary. It's not middle school yet. I think it's still
What?
6th grade.
That's middle school.
Middle school starts at 7.
No. Middle school is 6, 7, 8. Then high school is 9, 10, 11, 12.
I don't believe that, but
Okay.
still, whatever. Neither here nor there.
Okay, going into middle. Okay, so I was right. Okay, so they are
You
in
write
middle
that bad, you stop and Google in the middle of a show, bro.
Oh, I was just saying. Okay, so
the answer is yes, Ray, but go on.
Okay, so thank you. Take that, Nisha. Okay, so if that middle school, right? They get out what? About what's that? 4 o'clock, right? Middle school get out around 4 o'clock.
All right.
So if that 4 o'clock they get out, I'm gonna try to. My whole goal is to be done with work and be at home by 6. So hopefully from 4, I'm gonna try. This is a parent. I'm gonna try to put my child into some after school that can hours that I'm not there, so that by the time they get home, they have time to do their homework home. And once I get home, get myself settled, we have dinner. So and we'll have a. I think, me personally, I give myself. It's not a lot, but I think I would get at least 3 hours of the day with my son. 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. All right. 2 to 3 hours, right?
Right.
The reason I have to be realistic because that's 8 to 9 hours a day. Someone else's child and or social media, whatever outside of you has to influence your child.
Oh, you talking about what they at school?
Right. And I spoke about before about us not having a village anymore because like you can raise your child however the fuck you want to. But if Ray Quisha and Raquanda down the street raise their kid to be a thug and a hood rat, and my child becomes friends with their child, then my child's going to pick up tendencies of their child and their upbringing. So it's very easy to be like, well, hold on. It's very easy to be like, well, I want my kid to do this, I want my kid to do that, and I want them to be into this. But realistically, for 8 hours a day, somebody else is influencing your child. So yes, you have an impact as an active father, absolutely. But you have to be realistic about the fact that there's other things influencing your child for longer periods a day than you are.
Okay, so, and I agree with you. I do agree with you. But so the problem with my answer is I think about me and how I was growing up.
We can't compare our childhood to the childhood.
I know. But when you answer that, you answer it on what you see or what you hear. But did you let that influence you?
Let me put it this way. My mama never bought me a video game system when I was a child starting out. But I'm a gamer.
I'm pretty sure the people you name out there with those names that you use wasn't on no gaming system, sir.
But that's the point. The point I'm making is your child's going to pick up stuff that you've never been a part of, have no interest in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like say like you got kids and right? Okay. Yeah, like you're not into movies at all. But your kid hang with my kid and I'm into Marvel like a motherfucker. I guarantee you your kid's going to start to be in the movies because your kid hangs with my kid and my kid hangs with me. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is we have to be we can want what we want with our kids, but we have to be realistic about. We have to be kind of realistic about there's other outside influences. The best we can do as a parent is try to mitigate those other influences. So your child can see stuff in the streets, but you as a parent have to explain it so he knows how to process it.
Okay. And so you name, I don't think it was a good example of them going down the wrong path though. Like
I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing. All I'm saying is there's other things that are going to influence your child. So your child cannot have a phone at all, but all his friends at school have phones. So he's going to have access to social media whether you like it or not. The school has computers. Okay. He can create an Instagram profile on a computer at school and never use it at home.
And and all of that could be true. And I believe all of that could be true. But at the same time, I do believe that a certain role in a child's life will steal them from a lot of the bad habits that they have. If you literally go down and look at some of the research, if you literally look at some of the research, having a two-parent home changed that child life a lot different than having a one parent home.
It does, absolutely.
Inside the child life also affect how so I think a lot of that have a different factor on what's going on. So I wouldn't personally say that outside noise gonna affect how my days when I'm gonna be there and be able to talk to them and give them some examples and really sit down and talk to them about it. And yes, you may have that one child that just want to go against you always. You may have that because that might be there. But I think 7 child gonna turn out make a lot better decision than not being.
I agree. I agree that as parents, you're going to have a large influence. But I say that to say there's no guarantee because they're outside influence. 2-parent households absolutely help, but I think a lot of that's because while you have 3 hours with your kids, your wife is going to have some hours with the kid. You're going to have some time with the kids. There's more time that the child has to be influenced from with home. And I think it's a lot of it too, especially if you have a stay-at-home mom, right?
Right.
But again, today's kids are there's very much a struggle, a battle, whether we realize it or not, between the parental foundation and social media. And whether we like it or not, you kind of have to talk to your kids about certain things, whether you realize they've been exposed to it or not, because they're going to see it on the internet. Like the whole transgender thing, you may not talk to your kids about sex or gender at all, but it's a topic that's frequently on social media. So I agree with you 1,000%. It's like you as a parent, you have a large impact, especially as an active father. 2-parent households are way better than single-parent household, but you still can't control everything that's influencing your child today, and you have to be realistic and be ready to adapt to it and deal with it. Like the shit that the kids find cool today is you may not find it cool at all. You're not going to understand it. But you still have to talk. You want to have to talk to your kids about it.
That's true. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, you're not going to talk a lot of things, but things that you really do redeem important, like stealing and doing bad things and disrespecting the teachers and showing respect to your elders, like stuff like that. You talk to your child about. So I think that what they do. And go ahead.
Scenario, right? You don't want your kid playing football, but your kid you have a son. He goes to school. All of his friends play football. He started say he's on social media when he's with his friends. He gets a favorite football player, right? You want to go to Falcons games. He becomes a big fan of the Falcons. Somewhere in there may be a desire to play football. Are you seeing something? I know the live cut off for an hour.
And you are right. That could be a factor, right? Watching the Falcon and they want to become a football fan. And do you know the age of when kids really make up a lot of things that they doing and how you affect their life? Do you see the ages? It's younger. I forgot how old it is. I think it's like you can affect them. Like they already have their decision up to. I think it's like teenagers. They usually know. Like you could kind of like stir them to a certain way. And yes, I understand that. But at the same time, if I get them into early years and we go into the game, I could stop a lot of that whole football thing by putting them in baseball and taking them to a game and never taking them to a football game to see.
You can it. I don't know. I can't 100% say you can stop it.
And then no, I could I could put a dapper on it where it's very unlikely that that will happen, that he would enjoy that because I'm gonna have him. It's still baseball so much into him. But at the younger age, I'm gonna talk to him on football, so he won't even bring that up to me when he get older. So if he won't do that when he turn 18, that's fine. But at a young age, I'm gonna let my child know why I'm against him playing football. But that's gonna be me talking. Every parent not gonna be like me.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I said, I hope you get your way. That's the best. That's the best I can hope for.
I don't understand. Like, okay, so what you mean? You hope I get my way?
Because there's so many reasons. There's so many things that would cause your child to decide to be into football anyway. Especially if we're talking about. Especially if we're not even talking about your first, or if we're talking about your second child, even more reasons why they have a reason to be they could possibly get into football. Because all it would take is for your older son to be like, man, dad was he always been scared of football, but I played football, I ain't never been no problem. Football fun. That's all it takes. It's an older sibling saying it's fun, and dad don't know what he's talking about.
Okay. Hey, you know what? That's true. That is so true. But how he gonna learn?
He could at 18 decide to stop playing football. He could go to the park and play football with his friends, and you wouldn't even know about it. He ain't got to play for the school.
No, that's true.
You know
that it's unlikely that I won't ever know that he played, right? In this younger age, you know that, right?
You know it's unlikely that he's going to go all the way through elementary school and never play football in PE.
No. That's fine that he played with the kids. Majority of the time, when they playing just on the field and they're doing that, they're not playing contact. They playing like touch football. 9 out of 10, because I played it a lot. You're not playing tackle. Just on the regular. You're not playing tackle.
I understand that, but that's an easy place for him to think about love.
I'm just saying that they're not going to be playing. Me personally, I'm not going to okay it to play in an organized tackle football that I'm going to agree with. So at the end of the day, if you want to play that 18, that is fine. My child age different is not going to be from 18 and 5. Okay?
I hope not.
At certain age, it's snip. But
I hope not.
I'm just saying that it's just me. And I also had another person that we both know, that also said that his son's not playing football either. Oh, yeah, he also said it too.
I remember.
So it just right. No. It's not the one getting married. Oh, not him. Not Johnny. It's another one. Yeah, Johnny said it too. So it's another person that said it. It's just like, I'm be honest. If we thinking logical, why football? Because we because that's because that's the better thing that we be playing other than basketball?
I mean, that's
Like
basically
why?
all it is. That's basically all it is. It's become an American staple.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have enough reason to even like, for example, I'm trying to outweigh the difference. It's very low percentage that players make it to the NFL. That's one thing. It, it's not even 50%. It's not even
True,
50% that people make it to the
true,
NFL. It's a low percent, right?
true.
Because think about it. Even with let's just say the best team, right? Alabama, roll tide. So let's just say Alabama. All of they starting players don't even make it to the NFL. They could just win the championship and all their players don't make it to the NFL. So you on the team and they don't even barely even watch you. How you think you're gonna make it? But nonetheless, I could put my son into baseball where, yeah, I'm not saying it's any easier to make it there, but it's less risk. Yeah, they could get hurt. Of course, anybody could get hurt in any sport. Okay, that's a part of the game. But are they having contact to make it even worse and quicker? The lifespan NFL player, I think they said average is like 5 years. I think that's what they were saying. That average it's like 5 years. Baseball is it's at least double or not. Something. It's a lot of Major League Baseball players that play in their late 30s. Like like even NFL, it's not too many Brady's. Okay, that's the first thing. It's not too many Brady's that could play in their 40s. That's a fact. But a lot of them in they early, maybe mid 30s, maybe if they make it that far. But more time in they early 30s when they kind of decline. But baseball player, you get 10 years of guaranteed money. That's just me. I just think about the outlook on things and how the
I mean,
money
really, you make the most money playing soccer.
and that's a fact. But I only reason I say soccer because soccer, they literally go for your legs. They not supposed to. They get some red cards and yellow card, but they still try
I
to
mean,
take you out.
true. But would you rather your son have walk with a limp or have brain damage? I mean, if you had to pick one.
Well, okay, you're right. Walk with a limp, but I don't want them to do neither one. That's why I said baseball. Most time with their injuries, it most caused by them.
How you feel about
It's a
wrestling?
rarity. It's a rarity that they slide into second base and the person get injured and be out for whatever, or running into home plate and they get injured. That's a rarity. Most of the time, it be some like one guy got injured out a little home run celebration. That's the kind of stuff that they go through. So I mean, I just like to out, you know, look at it on both sides. But I be it is what it is. Every child, every person is different, and everyone could choose different things for their child. And
Facts.
who knows? Maybe once I get into um start having my kids and things change, it may not even things may change where the sport get real easier
Uh-oh.
and
Good luck with that.
and it's gonna be a lot less contact. So I could put them into something like that. But you know what they say, only time can tell.
You say answer my question. What you think about wrestling?
By wrestling?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so it depends. Pros, yes, it's fake. Like they literally half a time, half a time it's with the pros it's fake anyways. So yes, they do. Some of them so happen so called. Some of them so called don't want to. They do their injuries just so it be like in middle contract timing and or they want time out. Sometimes that also happen with injuries. So they don't really be an injury. They really be like negotiate contracts and taking time off, stuff like that.
Mm.
So with wrestling, yeah, I mean they won't do it, but with wrestling, it's a lot harder to get in there too. But hey, go for it. That's what you want to do. Go for it. But I mean, but me personally, I'm not gonna be like, oh, go do wrestling. Come on. I love wrestling. Go do it. Go slam each other on the ground. Shout out to all the wrestlers. But that's not something I personally would do or want my child to do. I personally don't want my child to play any sport.
I mean, I
That's
get it. I get the 100% get it, but like I said, you influenced by yourself. Like my mom wasn't. I had no parent around me into the wrestling, but I was interested in wrestling. I had
right.
nobody pushing me into football at all, but I played football.
I was into wrestling too.
I damn sure didn't know anybody playing, and we didn't have anybody in my family playing soccer, but I played soccer.
Yeah, fact. Let me see. Did I play? I played football. And you know what? I never played. I had, I have asthma, so I really never played any sport when I was younger, anyways. But the only sport I did want to try out was for what? Baseball. That's the only sport I even talked about going out for. And I don't know a single baseball player in my family or even by whoever said they played baseball in my family. Period. But I'm also different. I'm a different breed. So I just want to instill the values and the different values that I bring into my life, into my son's life, to make him a great guy and a great man growing up. And hopefully, at the end of the day, hopefully he made good choices in life.
I'm gonna be.
But I do understand.
I'm gonna be an asshole.
All you could do is instill different values in your child. It's up to them to make the right decision.
So I have to be an asshole for a question for a second since you said I'm a different breed. I'm different, right? So don't that mean your kids gonna be a different breed and they different, right?
No, they don't mean that. The same breed as me.
But if you a different breed and they're the same as you, that makes them a different breed. That means they're gonna do what you did and go get into stuff that they were never influenced by, right?
Well, yeah, but that's fine about the things that because I never got influenced by doing terrible things though.
I mean, I'm not talking about terrible things. I'm talking about like some of the smaller sports. You know what I mean? So like just like you was
okay. So
you had no influence, but you was into baseball.
So let's talk about. So I do understand by them being influenced, but also when I was gonna try for baseball, I wasn't trying to try out for baseball till I got in high school. So yeah, it was later in life before I even thought about playing. I never once that I could remember that I ever asked my mother to that I wanted to play anything else. She never talked about it. So I personally never even thought about it. Trying out, even though my cousin, I have plenty of cousins over me that played. But me personally, I wasn't talked about. I never got influenced to do it. So if they could be like me, I'm cool with that. I like the way I am. I think he's a good young man. Huh?
I said until they start talking about football,
Right. Then we're gonna have a whole different situation.
I say it again. I hope you get your way.
Yeah, appreciate that. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We went a little late today since it's been a while since we was on here. But hey, we back. We back.
Stay tuned to the IG. Follow us individually. Stay tuned to the IG. We'll keep y'all posted as to when the shows are. If we're not on our regular schedule, Wednesdays at 8:00.
Right, but we should be back on time. So until next week, we got Lambo on Ray. See y'all next week.
Good night, y'all.